Tonight on DnDSPN, which one is better, wild shape or polymorph? Hi, my name is Paul Zajac.
And I'm Charlie Steckel.
Welcome to DnDSPN. This is a channel where we smash together Dungeons & Dragons and sports commentary.
Kind of. Tonight, we have two different scenes, two different ways. 2 and 2, baby. When we see the party druid let out their inner beast. Let's go to the tapes.
I'm still in that wasp shape. I'm going to fly up above the remaining giant, and I'm going to I'm going to momentarily drop out of wild shape, which is a free action, and then I'm going to re-enter wild shape in a different form of a killer whale, and I'm going to fly down and chomp its head.
You know what? Roll your attack with advantage because that is so ridiculous. I appreciate it.
The reverse
18.
Jaws.
Gonna hit.
So then I do 5d6 plus 4, plus I do another d8 for this druid ability. So 13. Jeez, I think that's it. I'm going to polymorph myself into a T-Rex.
Later in the adventure, obviously.
And then I'm going to move up to
very leisurely changing to a T-Rex.
Ka-chunk. Yeah, I'm here.
Epillard,
Okay.
the large T-Rex.
Yeah,
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna bite the guy to my right. So 29 to hit. And
29 hits.
Yeah, that's a bite. So what size is that creature?
It is large.
Okay, it's grappled and has a restrained condition, and so it takes 48 plus 7, 26 points of damage, and then I'm gonna tail attack the guy on the other side of me. Oh, it's a crit.
Ooh.
I double the dice, so he does 8d8 plus 7. Nice. 49 plus 7, so he takes 56 points of damage.
My druid was a wild shape as a killer whale, and then as a T-Rex. I think just to get the numbers, the killer whale did like 19 damage with its attack, and then the T-Rex I think did something like 70 some points of damage. All right, I got a chart. We'll put it up later. Charlie, what are your thoughts?
You can clearly see this poor dungeon master tortured in his realm of not even knowing how to respond in that situation. I was flabbergastedly amused because as soon as you described what you were doing, the image popped in my head of an orca coming down on top and just like chomping on a cloud giant ghost, which I thought was hilarious. That's why I gave it advantage. I think that this is really awesome in the sense of the wild shape because you were able to pull that off. On polymorph, the second time around, I think I just didn't even register the fact that it was polymorph that you used and not wild shape in that second battle. And it just dawned on me, having gone back and watched the clip, that you chose to polymorph yourself, where wild shape pretty much accomplishes the same thing. And where polymorph is usually something we use to transform something else, you know, it's an item. It's a person we can affect other than ourselves.
That's what you do with it, right?
Yeah, that's what I usually see it done with. I never get to play, so I never get to use that, and I'm rarely a spellcaster to boot. So, you know, when it comes down to it, I think this was really great role play. I mean, it gave you the opportunity to really explore all the aspects for your character between wild shape and your spells that are available, but also the fact that you stuck with like the nature theme of the druid. You know, it's like you didn't try to polymorph into anything like outlandish. You didn't try to an aberration or something. You couldn't with the wild shape. You know?
All right, so I'm going to put this chart up on the screen. I wanted to do that in this game to make an example of like the things you can change yourself into as a druid. And at level 10, like if you're playing a moon druid, the highest CR creature you can transform into is CR3, and the biggest CR3 creature I could find was a killer whale. And I'm like, come on, like how many times can you really excel as a killer whale? And so I made it kind of ridiculous. And he didn't do that much damage. It was fun, right? But like for maybe one turn, it's going to be fun. And then the T-Rex, well, he crit, but he ended up doing a lot of damage. But, you know, so look at the chart. I was just trying to, you know, which one is better? I see more green on the polymorph side. You know, I guess the last one, the vibe, that's what that won it for me. Like it was more fun being a T-Rex than it was being a killer whale. Although I think that, you know, you don't have to choose if you're a druid, right? You can get both of them. And there's certainly some advantages to wild shaping. Like you could bring on your big concentration spell, then wild shape, and you've got boom, you got like, you know, the little weaker creature, but this awesome spell going on. And I get that, but it was still more fun being a T-Rex. Yeah, go ahead, Charlie.
Well, I was going to say, I think that with the new rules, obviously we're looking at the new core rules. So you get the 5-10 PB level for your Druid, whereas in the past you would have been able to have like those Orca hit points, which probably I think like the Orca has pretty decent HP when it boils down to it, just because of its mass. And then you go over to Polymorph and it's still treated the same way, where you're in that shape until it's gone, right?
Right.
And so I think some people might. Yeah,
the hit points wasn't such a big thing because you got like at level 10, you get 30 hit points per polymorph. And I was like, you know, you can drop and do it again, drop and do it again. And so if you're using all your wild shapes in one combat, you can get like, you know, 120 extra hit points at level 10, which is a lot. You're still really tough.
Well, and that begs the question too. Just should those 10 hit points go away when you drop a wild shape? You know, that's a question too. But I don't know. I look at the respect of both actions, I should say, feat and spell. I like the lifestyle has that vibe. No, you can't polymorph anybody, anything else. And the awesome power of polymorph is just one failed save, and boss is a rodent. You know,
imagine this. Or you're seeing the other way around, right? Transforming people into things. Yeah, that seems less fun to me. Like I want to get big. But yeah, you see it more the other way around. That seems to me like a real risk, right? If you transform yourself, like you're guaranteed to be a T-Rex for at least a round. Anyway,
and then here too, as a Druid, you have the option of one, polymorphing something into something you want it to be, and then wild shaping yourself into its friend. As you know, you can just be
right. Yeah. There's combos I didn't think about. Okay, I'm interested to see what people think. Please tell us your thoughts. If you want to watch the full adventure from which these clips are drawn, check it out on DSPN2, The Deuce. And if you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe. Help us out. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.